Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael Deaton with Lincoln Financial, and excited to be joining you here on this, what is to be in North Carolina, a very hot and humid Monday afternoon. But I am a business insurance consultant, and again, excited to be with you all for the next short while to talk about business life insurance planning. And really our role, our team's role here at Lincoln, our Business Insurance Solutions team, really is to partner with you and your practice to, one, identify business insurance opportunities, provide design support and illustration support, but I think most importantly, it's that consultation piece that our team really kind of brings to your practice as a partnership that's really going to help you be more successful in closing business insurance opportunities. So in today's half-hour presentation, what we're going to talk about is the business insurance opportunity, you know, the small business owner marketplace and the opportunities that abound there. We're going to talk a little bit about the three pillars of risk management that we find associated with business insurance planning. And lastly, the hardest part, which is engaging our business owner clients. You know, how do we, you know, go across the table where maybe we've been historically focused on personal financial planning to really be engaging with these personal clients now in a business owner setting. So again, focusing in on the opportunity, talking about the three pillars of risk management, where we focus our time and effort on the consultation piece, and then lastly, you know, kind of working with that client engagement. You know, how do we move these conversations forward? So just wanted to share some couple of statistics with you that really kind of start to paint the picture of why we think, you know, business life insurance planning is a pretty significant opportunity for insurance professionals, advisors looking to grow their practice. 28.8 million, that is the number of small businesses in the U.S. If you kind of look at that on a micro scale, that's 48% of the private sector employment. And we've got close to 57 million small business employees. Now, I just want to be fair to that number. You know, half of these businesses are likely to be structured as sole proprietors. But, you know, as we often discuss with our producers and our intermediaries, regardless of the size or scope of the business, there are plenty of opportunities to begin planning discussions with small business owners. So as a target market, the small business market really has shown itself to be in a state of stability. And in some cases, we're finding that small business owner, that marketplace really kind of on a growth trajectory. And so from what we've gathered or garnered really from LIMRA studies is that those financial professionals that are actually engaging with small business owners and capitalizing on those opportunities, really what we're finding is that it's an underserved market. So again, what we want to help do from not only the educational standpoint, but from the partnership standpoint on the sales perspective, is really helping bring an awareness that time spent developing an expertise in this market will undoubtedly result in bigger opportunities and hopefully deeper relationships with those business owner clients. So we've talked a little bit, you know, here about painting this picture, you know, of an abundance of opportunity, but, you know, let's talk about business life insurance. You know, as you can see, you know, business life insurance can take on a number of different forms. And these are terminologies or fancy names, if you will, that you've probably seen or come across before in your practice. You know, key person, executive bonus, deferred compensation, loan regime split dollar. You know, basically there's an entire universe of business insurance concepts and strategies. And quite frankly, you know, we really know that there's dozens more, you know, there's variations of each of these strategies that we see. But, you know, bottom line, you know, it's a lot. And sometimes as we're approaching these conversations, it can be complex. But what we want to help you recognize is that you have a partner really with Lincoln to help you navigate this universe. And as we'll talk on a little bit later, these are just fancy names for solutions. But that really brings me back to really foundationally what we do as insurance professionals, as financial advisors, as a part of our practice. At the core of what we do and the products that we use, we really find ourselves grounded in the basics or principles of risk management. So if we or you as the advisor can really engage with your business owners and help clients identify what their risks are and where there may be gaps in their current risk management plan, then really one, if not many of these solutions that we see here on the screen will naturally kind of surface up, to be a viable way to help that business owner manage the risk that we'll talk about shortly. So, again, what we're wanting to do is help business owners understand the inherent risk of not planning and what that impact could be to their business growth and or continuity of their business. And once we have helped establish a foundation of that understanding, then again, the process of identifying and guiding our business owner clients to the appropriate solution really becomes much easier on ourselves as financial professionals. What we find that as financial professionals are engaging with business owners is oftentimes risk management is not necessarily one of their top focuses. But as we talked about, what we do with business planning, business life insurance planning is grounded on those principles of risk management. So we really have to be engaging our business owners with really the disturb, if you will. We know that their day is consumed with, sales goals or operational nuances, employee engagement. But at the overarching kind of idea of what could be a key driver of, again, business growth or continuity could be risk management. And we kind of find that there's three core pillars of business life insurance. One, protecting the business from the death of a key employee. Two, retaining, rewarding, and recruiting top talent. And three, efficiently transferring business interest amongst business owners. Essentially what we're talking about there is buy-sell planning. So why should they be concerned about protecting the business from the death of a key employee? Well, what we are doing is ultimately trying to educate that business owner around that loss of that key employee to a premature death or disability. What can that do to the revenue streams? What kind of client relationships does this key employee have that if we lost them unexpectedly would do to our sales goals? So what kind of disruption and financial burdens does it put on the business? And ultimately, helping quantify that and helping the business owners identify those key employees in that organization that are instrumental in driving either that business growth or, in some cases, providing a continuity to the business. So why should business owners be concerned about retaining and rewarding and recruiting top talent? Well, if you think about why we're educating them on the importance of protecting their business from the loss of a key employee in the event of a death or disability, I think equally as catastrophic, if not even more so, is potentially losing that top talent to competition. Again, looking at those key employees that are drivers of growth and development of the business. If we lose them to competition, what kind of impact, is that going to have? From a recruiting standpoint, do we have the right compensation packages in place to make sure that we're gathering or putting ourselves in the best position to obtain a skilled executive workforce? And especially in the small business owner marketplace, what you'll find, and I'm sure you're seeing it, is certainly these larger business entities have certainly a more robust benefits package. That they're able to go out and position themselves to reward and recruit top talent much more handsomely. So how do we help our small business owners compete and retain the top talent that they have? And again, it's part of painting that picture of disturb, helping them quantify in some cases what the impact of losing those key employees are. And then lastly, what we're really helping business owners address is really that continuity of the business, making sure that we're helping that business owner, transfer their business interests efficiently and successfully. And again, that's really beginning the foundations of that buy-sell planning process. But in conjunction with that buy-sell planning process, we want to make sure that one, our business owner has a process and a plan in place. And then, even though as financial professionals we're not necessarily engaged with the, legal documents that oftentimes formalize a, buy-sell agreement, we can be that advisor or counselor, if you will, to be guiding our business owners through that process that begins with one, establishing a fair market value, working and bringing to the table, the qualified CPA or business valuation specialist that can help, make sure that as we look to exit our business at whatever point in the future that may be and under whatever circumstances, that our business is going to carry a fair market value that is acceptable and palatable to that business owner. We want to make sure that in that same process that we're identifying, how we're going to be exiting our business. Do we have in the organization itself today key employees that may be our succession plan? Is our intent to sell to a third party? Are we going to pass our business interest down generationally to the next family member? So again, the identification of who is going to be taking over the business, that continuity piece. And then lastly, it's all well and good to have a buy-sell agreement and identification of parties to ensure that business interests are transferring. But oftentimes what we're finding and hearing from advisors is as they're approaching their business owner client, really they haven't addressed the funding component. And that's really where the opportunity as insurance professionals, as financial advisors, really is where we're able to deliver a particular solution or strategy in conjunction with what the recommendations of the accountant and lawyer are to really bring it all together so that not only do we have a formally drafted document, that we've got an appropriate valuation established, we've got identified parties, but in the event of a triggering event, albeit a death event or a premature disability of a shareholder or key stakeholder, that we've got insurance solutions in place that help maintain that continuity and then also ensure that the successors and beneficiaries of those business owners obtain fair market value considerations in that transfer. So where do you start with the business owners? So we've talked about the opportunity. We've talked about essentially the three pillars of risk management. But where do we start with our business owner? And a colleague of mine kind of came up with this analogy of using an oxygen mask. So I'm assuming many of you on the phone here today have maybe flown on a flight at some point in your life. That might be a generalized assumption, but if you haven't, one of the things that the flight attendant during pre-takeoff emphasizes in their little spiel of making sure you buckled your seat and bags are securely placed is, they emphasize this phrase: in the event of an emergency, secure your mask first before helping others. So I'll say that again: in the event of an emergency, secure your mask first before helping others. And so really what my colleague was really trying to depict in this analogy is really that we need to be approaching our business owners, engaging with them first and foremost about what it is that it is their exit or succession plan. What is their retirement plan? So a lot of times, we'll find that cases have developed and they want to talk about executive compensation or key person identification. Really, we need to be focusing conversations first and foremost with that business owner and making sure that we're protecting their retirement, securing their retirement first. And again, it's not always an easy conversation, But again, it's one that is going to be self-serving, because once we identify what their exit plan, then some of the other pillars of risk management for the business can ultimately start to take shape, because sometimes, as we'll see in just a moment, that the exit plan, that retirement, may be contingent upon the sale to a key employee. So all of a sudden now what started as a buy-sell conversation with our business owner now has transitioned into key person discussions and executive benefit plans. So again, how do we help our business owners begin and engage in that buy-sell planning process? Well, again, it's making sure that we've got a proper valuation, documenting an agreement, and making sure that that agreement is properly funded. And again, that latter part really is where the opportunity is for us as insurance professionals to find the right funding and product solutions to help manage that risk for those business owners as we look to help them exit or retire from their business. So how do we take that conversation and really unlock the life insurance opportunities? That's what we're looking for here, obviously, is not just the opportunities to engage with business owners for casual conversations. We're here as insurance professionals and looking for opportunities to grow our practice and help put solutions on the table for our business owner clients. So we talked about first securing that business owner's exit or retirement strategy first. And once you've done that, then naturally the question then becomes, if you could essentially close up shop tomorrow, think of it this way. It's a very simplistic way of transitioning a conversation where we started first with that buy-sell exit planning to an executive benefit decision tree, if you will. So common way to address this, it seems to be very simplistic, is Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, if you had to close up shop today and move across the street, who would be the one key employee that would you take with them? Who is the one key employee that is integral to the success and development and growth of your business? Well, once you have that, you could kind of expand it to who are the 2 or 3 people that you would take with you if you had to close up shop and move across the street. So what are we getting at? We're getting at key person identification. So now all of a sudden we've moved the life insurance opportunity from the buy-sell funding solution to make sure that business interests are transferred efficiently. Now we're also identifying key person, helping that business owner begin the risk management conversations around what it could mean and the impact to that business if they lost a key person to death or disability. In conjunction with that, oftentimes, again, if we're looking to identify key person and the financial impacts of losing them to a premature death or disability, ultimately that's going to align with an executive benefit or executive compensation discussion. So if I, as a business owner, come to a key employee and say, hey, we really value what you bring to the table, you're integral to the success and development of my business, I want to place life insurance on your life, it's a common thought, or what we're hearing from the field, that key employee really is going to go back to the business and say, what's in it for me? You're telling me you're valuable, that if I pass away or I become disabled, but what's in it for me? If you're going to do this and I'm helping you protect your business, what's in it for me? So you see this natural progression of one, starting with the business owner and helping them secure their retirement, their exit strategy, identifying those key individuals that are, again, going to be key drivers of the business growth and continuity, and then ultimately transitioning that conversation over to executive benefits. And all of these really kind of tie together back to those 3 pillars. If we lose key employees, we may not be able to successfully fulfill our business owner's exit and retirement strategy. If we don't have the right executive benefits, we may lose our key employees to competition. So interrelatedness between these 3 pillars, oftentimes what we find when we're designing solutions in partnership with you and your business owner clients, is that what may look and feel like a traditional buy-sell may oftentimes evolve into a multifaceted solution. And that's really where our job as consultants is to really kind of help navigate, going back to what we talked about earlier, that universe of solutions, and how can we help you, once the needs are identified, really address the solutions and products and even underwriting platforms that make risk management for your business that much easier, making the business insurance planning process more integrated, and lastly, making you a more successful advisor. So what we're going to be doing over the next couple sessions is we're going to do a deeper dive into buy-sell exit planning and kind of partner that with key person risk management, insurance planning. And then the last session that we'll cover really is going to be executive compensation, focusing on those types of reward strategies that can not only help benefit key employees, but can also, in some cases, help our business owners, depending on business tax structures and objectives. So that's really what we wanted to cover in terms of this overall business insurance counseling series. But we ultimately know that as you're going out there and trying to find opportunities, and bringing information to the table for discussion, it ultimately starts with the discovery process. So we've got fact finders, case studies, educational materials that we can arm you with that really help you all engage with your business owners and capturing the relevant information and objectives of your business owner clients. We don't want to go down the route of, addressing buy-sell planning to the nth degree if that's something that they've already successfully accomplished. So we want to make sure that as we're approaching them, that we're doing a thorough fact find, and that really is going to help us be much more efficient in the consultation, and then again identifying through that universe of opportunities solutions that are going to be most effective and most efficient in addressing the needs. So again, just wanted to lay a foundation today of what business life insurance planning entails. We talked early on about the small business owner marketplace, really an area that is underserved from the financial advisor community. So certainly an opportunity to be first amongst your peers, to be engaging with business owners. And again, we know that transition from that personal conversation to the business insurance conversation is not always an easy one to navigate. We certainly here can partner as consultants on that. We talked about the 3 pillars of risk management, protecting the business from the loss of a key employee, so key person planning and helping business owners understand the impact that a loss of a key employee can have on the business. We've talked about executive compensation and the need to put forth benefit packages and reward strategies that really are designed to retain top talent and not lose it to competition. And lastly, we talked about efficiently transferring business insurance, business interest, and ultimately, here at Lincoln, we're really that partnership, an extension of your practice, if you will, to make sure that you're successful in navigating those. But at this point in time, I wanted to stop and I appreciate everyone joining today, and certainly open it up for questions as we kind of tee it up for the next 2 sessions where we'll be digging a little deeper into these core areas of risk management, buy-sell planning and key person in our next session, and executive compensation in our last session. If anybody has any questions, I believe there is a chat box in the meeting session. Any questions from those on the line today? If you do have questions and if we're having technology issues, feel free to reach out to Alan Frisbee with any questions. I'll make sure that we can get those addressed. You can also email me. My email address is Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L .Deaton, D-E-A-T-O-N @lfd.com. I'll certainly make sure to get any questions addressed to you promptly. Greatly appreciate everyone's time today on the phone, and certainly look forward to kicking off a deeper dive into buy, sell, and key person planning on our next call. I hope everyone has a great rest of their Monday afternoon, and we'll look forward to talking with you again soon.